Welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the father of affirmations, the mental health coach to the stars, no other than Dr. Noah St. John. Welcome,
Thank you. It's
Dr.
great to be here.
Yes, and welcome, Dr. Noah. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yes, my name is Dr. Noah St. John. My website is noahstjohn.com, and I'm known for helping entrepreneurs and business owners to scale without friction and reclaim their lives. So, if you want to make more in the next 12 weeks than you did in the previous 12 months while winning back 1 to 3 hours per day and 4 to 8 weeks per year, I'm your guy. I've been doing that for 3 decades now, and I've helped my clients make over $3 billion collectively. So, we're known for helping people add multiple six figures, seven figures, and even eight figures to their business while actually working less. So that's who I am and that's what I do.
Yes, Dr. Noah, I want the 3 billion too. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And today let's talk about how to scale up from 6 to 7 figures without the headaches. And tell us what is the single biggest headache that keeps most of the six-figure entrepreneurs stuck, and how do you help them overcome it?
Well, there are two major things that are slowing people down, that are slowing entrepreneurs down. Whether you want to scale from 6 to 7 figures or 7 figures to 8 figures or even 8 figures and up, there are two main things that I help people to resolve when it comes to friction. Okay, so if you think about your goals, for everyone listening to this program, if you think about your goals as a destination, right? It's someplace you want to get to. You are where you are right now and you want to be where you want to be, right? So going from where you are to where you want to be. It's kind of like driving a car, right? So a destination is where you're going in your car, and the car is the vehicle that gets you there. Well, that's what your business is like. Your business should be a vehicle to help you reach your dreams, your goals, your desires. But for millions of entrepreneurs, it doesn't act that way at all. In fact, they are now working very hard for their business when it should be the other way around. It should be their business working hard for them so that they are living the life that they desire, right? But for millions and millions of entrepreneurs, whether you're making six figures, seven figures, or eight figures or more, many times business owners, CEOs, founders that I coach, really, when they come to me, they are working way too hard for their business when it should be the other way around. So, one of the things that we start with is identifying the friction of where it is right now. So, when you go to noahstjohn.com, you will see that there is a link there that's called the Zero Friction CEO. And you can even just go to zerofrictionceo.com or just scroll down on noahstjohn.com and you'll see it right there. And what it is, it's called the Zero Friction Gap Audit. And what it is, it's a free audit that we do on your business to see where the areas of friction are, number one. And then I map out a plan to help you to eliminate the friction. Because going back to my car analogy, right? So let's say you're driving in your car and you want to go to the grocery store that's down the street. But imagine you're driving in your car, but you have developed the unconscious habit of driving with one foot on the brake. So you are driving down the road of life right now with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Well, what is the brake? The brake is friction. That's what causes your car to slow down or stop, right? It's called friction. Well, guess what? That is also operating in your business right now and in your life too. So I've been helping entrepreneurs and CEOs and founders and celebrities and athletes to remove hidden friction for the past 30 years. And that's one of the main reasons that I've helped my clients add over $3 billion collectively.
How does the mindset of a seven-figure CEO fundamentally differ from that successful six-figure owner? What is the most important mental shift that must happen first?
Based on my 30 years of experience in helping so many people, thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs from around the world, over 120 countries now, what I have observed is one of the main differences between being a six-figure entrepreneur and a seven-figure or eight-figure entrepreneur is the habit of delegation. So what happens is the entrepreneur starts their business because they want to solve a problem, because they want to help people. They want to make a difference. They want to make an impact, right? Which is great. That's wonderful. That's why you started your business in the first place. I want to help people. I want to solve problems. I want to really make a difference. And that is a wonderful intention. The problem is that for so many entrepreneurs, for millions of entrepreneurs and CEOs and founders, they end up doing $10 an hour work when they should be doing $1,000 an hour work. So one of the things that I help people do is to transition from doing $10 an hour work to $1,000 an hour work. Let me give you an example. So I was speaking at a conference in Los Angeles for 1,000 entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs. These are multiple seven-figure and eight-figure and even nine-figure entrepreneurs, CEOs, very successful people, right? So I was doing my keynote presentation. I walked off the stage and a man came up to me out of the audience and he said to me, Noah, I want to hire you as my coach. You are the coach that I've been looking for. Now, I didn't know this man from Adam. Ironically, his name was Adam. True story. You can watch his video and many others on my website. But anyway, he said, I want to hire you as my coach. Now, I said, okay, well, what's going on? He said, well, Noah, I own this company and we grew to seven figures in revenue, but we have been stuck at the same level for the past 4 years. He said, 4 years, we've been stuck at the same level. And he said, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on every marketing guru, every big name guru out there. He named all the big names, but we're still stuck. And he said, as soon as I heard you speak, something inside of me just knew that you were the coach that I've been looking for. So he hired me on the spot and I coached him and his leadership team for 18 months after that. And in that 18 months, we were able to get his company, which had been stuck at seven figures for the previous 4 years, to over $20 million in revenue. That's a 600% increase in less than 18 months. Now, most CEOs would be thrilled with a 10% increase or 15%. They'd be overjoyed. We got him 600% while he was working less. So that's a beautiful example of how hidden friction can really be holding you back.
Why is the leap from six to seven figures often described as more challenging than going to zero to six figures? What makes it a different game entirely, Dr.
Well,
Noah?
actually, I've found that it's harder to go from zero to six figures than six to seven. Because what happens is when you're just starting out, you're going to get a lot of rejection. For example, I started my company, successclinic.com, which is now noahstjohn.com, but I started my company in 1997, 30 years ago, with $800 to my name and a book on HTML. So I had nothing. I had no money, no experience, no marketing, no sales, no team. There was no social media back then. There was no YouTube. There was no Facebook, Instagram, all of the things that we have today. But I did have one thing going for me that I bet everybody listening to this program also has, and that is a deep burning desire to make a difference, to make an impact, to help people. And so that is what kept me going through all of those lean years that I had because I didn't have anyone to talk to back then. I didn't have the experience that I have today. I didn't have anybody who could really help me. And so I made tons of mistakes. I made every mistake in the book, and it really cost me a lot of time and money. But even more emotionally draining, it cost me my confidence. And I really, after so many rejections and so many failures, I really lost a lot of confidence. And it was only that burning desire to help people, to make a difference that kept me going. And so I know that everybody listening to this program has that same burning desire to help people and to make a difference. The difference is that for many people, they just give up too early. They give up too early on their dreams. So that's why it's very hard for most people to go from 0 to 6. Now, when we're talking about going from 6 to 7 figures, that's when we get into the area of delegation, which I was talking about a moment ago, right? So when we're looking at going from 6 to 7 figures, let's say you've got your business to 6 figures just by hard work, hustle, and grind, which is for most of us what we have to do to get from 0 to 6. But see, that same hard work, hustle, and grind is not what's going to get you from 6 to 7. In fact, it could be the very thing that's holding you back. So it's really very customized and personalized. That's why we encourage you to take that zero friction gap audit on my website so that we can really see where your hidden friction is and start to get your foot off the brake.
On strategy and focus, Dr. Noah, at the six-figure level, entrepreneurs are often wearing all the hats. What is the
Right.
first role or function they must stop doing themselves to free from a mental capacity to scale?
I think one of the most important things that you need to stop doing as a business owner, an entrepreneur, if you want to go from 6 to 7 or even 7 to 8, is to stop doing emails. You have to offload your emails. Now, what's really funny about that is one of my clients right now is a one-on-one client. Now, he is a nine-figure CEO. He has a nine-figure company. So forget 6, 7, and 8. He's at nine figures. And when I started coaching him, one of the first things I realized is he was still doing so much of that $10 an hour work. He was answering every email, he was answering the phone. And one of the very first things to him I said is, you've got to stop answering the phone. You've got to stop doing all these emails. So he ended up hiring other people to do that. And now he's actually going to have a nine-figure exit, meaning he's going to be able to sell his company, to exit, which is a dream of many entrepreneurs. They want to really
Yes.
exit. And he's going to end up with a nine-figure payday, which is pretty awesome. He's going to end up with a check with a lot of zeros in the back of it. So that's another great example. So wherever you are, one of the very first things you need to do, and that was one of the first things I did too. When I grew to a certain level, when I was getting that consistent six figures, I realized that email was the biggest time suck in my day. It was easily 4 to 5 hours per day just answering emails. So one of the very first things that I was able to do was hire a virtual assistant to help me with that. And that really changed my life.
Where should a founder focus their own energy and time to generate most leverage and drive the most significant growth at this stage?
One of the most important things you can do if you really want to drive growth is number one, offload, and delegate those $10 an hour tasks like I was talking about. And that's a very important thing that many, many founders and CEOs that I've coached over the decades have really found it hard to do. They really find it hard to let go of those reins and hand them over to someone else. One of the things that you need to remember as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a founder, is that you're good at everything, right? You've been wearing all the hats. So it is true that you can probably do almost everything better than anyone else. But that's the trap right there. Because you think you can do everything better, you're putting off hiring people. And of course, you say, well, I don't know where to find good people. Well, we have lots of ways to help you with that too. But it starts with the mindset of I've got to delegate that. Like my nine-figure CEO client that I was just talking about a moment ago. He really wasn't even thinking about it before I coached him to do that. All right. So where then should you spend your time? Right. So you're going to be gaining back 1 to 3 hours per day, like and even 4 to 8 weeks per year. Right. That's what I am talking about. And that's what I've helped so many people to do while really making more in just 12 weeks than you did in the previous 12 months. So yes, you're making more money and you have more time. It really literally is the best of both worlds. I'll give you a perfect example of that. I was talking with one of my clients named Charles, and when he started to talk to me, one of the very first questions I asked him was, how much do you think it's going to cost you this year if we don't get rid of this hidden friction? He'd been reading my books, he'd been watching my videos on YouTube, and he realized that what I do is very different from what most people do, which is just tell you to work harder and grind and hustle and grind and work harder. It's like, that's a recipe for disaster and burnout. So he understood what makes me different. Anyway, so I said to him, how much do you think it's going to cost you if we don't remove this hidden friction? And without batting an eye, he said $1 million. It's easily going to cost me $1 million, Noah, if we don't remove this hidden friction. So I said, I tell you what, why don't you just give me 10% of that million and I'll find you $1 million in the next 12 months. In other words, if you give me $1 and I give you $10 back, is that a good deal? He goes, yeah, that's a good deal. So he decided to do that. He invested 100K to get one-on-one coaching with me. And so I coached him for a year. And as it turns out, I didn't find him $1 million in the next 12 months. Instead, I found him $1.8 million in just 10 months. So he gave me $1 and I gave him $18 back. Is that a good deal? No, that's a great deal. And he actually emailed me and he said, Noah, I'm on a 7-week vacation with my wife. We just bought a new RV with all of this money. He said, this is a dream I've had for 20 years, but I never had the time or the money before. And so now, because of coaching with you, now I have more time than ever and more money than ever. So he literally said, thank you for changing my life. So that is another great example of how hidden friction can really hold you back and what happens when you remove the friction.
Hmm. Yes, remove the friction, people, to have these billions of money. How does the strategy for acquiring customers need to change? Is it about scaling what's already
Mhm.
working, or does it require a completely new approach to marketing and scales?
It really depends on what is working in your business right now. Okay. So I look at it as a pie chart. Where are you getting your clients and customers right now? So for many entrepreneurs, it's paid ads. And if that's working, great, let's scale that up. If it's not working, then we need to, look at it, change direction, and maybe even close it down. Like right now, I don't do any paid advertising because I don't need to. I have a lot of referral based that people refer clients and customers to me because I help people get results. And when people get results, they want to tell their friends, they want to tell their colleagues because, it's very rare to find someone who actually gets results for people. So that's one point. Another point is to say, okay, right now, one of the things that we're helping our clients with is called AI visibility. So if you look on my website and you click on the advisory button, you'll see that one of those links says Get AI Visible. Now, what's happening is 61% of Google searches today end up with 0 clicks. Yeah, right there. See, Get AI Visible right down there. And so what that is we're helping our clients to get AI visible, meaning that you will be seen by the LLMs, the large language models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, and so on. All right. So the point is that when you go there, yep, there it is, because the SEO math doesn't work anymore, right? So for those of you who have put a lot of time, money, and effort into SEO, the sad news is the game has changed. They moved the goalposts. In fact, they changed the whole game on us, and they didn't ask us for permission. They just did it. So now what we're doing is we are understanding what the new game is, which is to get visible by the LLMs, Chat GPT, Perplexity, and so on. Okay. So anyway, that's a huge, huge thing that we're doing right now because our clients really asked us, Noah, what can I do? My SEO isn't working anymore. And so I've done a ton of research on this. And so we're helping our clients to get AI visible very simply by doing the things that the LLMs want. When they go out, when you put a prompt into Chat GPT, for example, it goes out and it crawls the internet, and there are certain sites that it trusts and of course millions of sites that it doesn't trust. So you want to be one of those trusted websites, and that's what we help people with. So the beauty of this is it's done for you, because if you were to do this would be a whole nother business for you. This would easily be another 40-hour-a-week job, right? So we have a team of experts that do this for you to get you AI visible. So if you want to learn more about that, just go to noahstjohn.com and click on Get AI Visible, or just go to aivisible.me so you can, or we can actually get you AI visible. This is a done for you service, so you don't have to do it yourself.
Dr. Noah, as the father of affirmations, a mental health coach, what are your short term and long term goals?
My short term goal is very simply what it's always been, which is just to help more people, to really help people to become the best version of themselves and to get rid of that hidden friction. So, that's my goal every day, is just to help more people and make a bigger difference. And my long-term goal is to really leave a legacy of leaving the world a better place than when I found it. There's that really great quote about that's what success really is to leave the world a better place, and to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. And this is the definition of success.
Good luck to your goals, Dr. Noah, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Well, make sure you forge your own path. Don't make all the mistakes that I did. Make sure
Mhm.
you go to someone like me or a trusted source that you can really scale without friction and reclaim your life. I really love what I do for that very reason, because seeing people like Charles, like Adam, like Pat, like all my clients, and if you go to my reviews page on the site, you'll see over 300, 5-star reviews of people whose lives that I have changed. And that really, really is a great feeling. So for all of you out there who are making a difference, I applaud you. And, I'm here to help you so that you can scale without friction, reclaim your life, and really, really live the life that you truly desire.
Truly, truly desire. And thank you for that advice, Dr. Noah. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
You want to recommend one of my books or somebody else's book?
Yes, your book
Oh, okay. The book that
or
you
your
should,
books.
if you go to the shop page, you'll see a selection of my books. But one of the main books that you really should start with is this book right here. It's called Power Habits, and that's right on my books page, right there. And oh, I'm sorry, it's under the reviews. I beg your pardon. Those are my online.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we moved everything around. It's under the about. Sorry, it's about. We moved
Is
everything.
that
There it is. Books. There it is. My God, we got so
one?
many links here. So there it is. Books. So it's Power Habits book. That's my book of affirmations right there, published by Hay House, which is my best-selling book so far. And then, but Power Habits is my second best-selling book. So either of those two books is a great place to start either the book of affirmations or my Power Habits book. But yeah, those are my two most popular books. So I would definitely recommend starting there.
Okay, affirmations. Tell us about it. Book of
Well,
yours.
affirmations is what I invented back in 1997, so 30 years ago. So you'll notice it's spelled AFFORMATIONS, not affirmations, but afformations.
Affirmations.
Right. So I invented this 30 years ago. And an affirmation is a statement of something you want to be true, which everybody talks about, has been talking about for decades. But I invented the process called affirmations, which is asking an empowering question. So rather than saying a statement like, I am rich, and your brain goes, no, you're not, you would ask an empowering question like, why am I so rich? Why am I so happy? Why am I so delighted to be in the right place at the right time? And so you ask, and in the book and in my courses and coaching, I teach you how to actually use my affirmations to ask empowering questions rather than disempowering questions. This is one of the really great ways and fast and easy ways to get your foot off the brake immediately. And you can literally start using it in the next 5 minutes.
Interesting, Dr. Noah. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, I'm a book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, I'm a food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in first season, and law 101 and mental health 101 are my baby podcast. Love letters in third season, and movie 101 review and music 101 and fourth season, and science 101 and sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Dr. Noah, finally, could you give one piece of advice or recommendation to every entrepreneur listening who wants sitting at the six-figure mark and wants to scale? What would it be?
Take the zero friction gap audit. It's free, complimentary. There's no charge, and it will really show you where your hidden friction is. And that hidden friction alone can be costing you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars every single year that you don't get rid of your friction. So get that. Go to noahstjohn.com. It's we have lots of free resources. You can also follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I release new content every day, and of course every week. But tons and tons of resources for every entrepreneur who really wants to scale without friction and reclaim their lives.
Dr. Noah St. John, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your books, your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, just Google me or go to YouTube. I'm kind of everywhere, and you can find me pretty easily. Just on Google or on all that stuff.
Yes, people, let's support Dr. Noah St. John because if you support him, for sure, more and more seven figures business to come, and for sure, more and more empowering books that will come. So, Miss Dr. Noah, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Marticon people, see you soon.